Hello everyone, welcome to ABC of Drawing. You're watching another episode of our tutorial series. Today, I'll show you a simple way to draw a realistic glass sphere. This drawing isn't very complicated to execute. I hope everything will work out for you today, if of course you follow the recommendations I'm about to share. The first recommendation is about choosing the right materials. For this drawing, I suggest using good, soft pencils, ranging from 2B to 6B, a soft, high-quality eraser. We'll definitely be using it today. Toned paper in yellow or gray. If you don't have such paper, you can, like me, use the matte backside of a cardboard. And lastly, I recommend using white paint today. For the whites, you can choose pastel, a white pencil, or a marker. It's the whites on toned paper that will create beautiful light refractions in the glass. Of course, you can do this without all this, but then your drawing won't look as good. Well, if you're ready, let's move on to the drawing. We'll start, as usual, with the outline. You can draw it freehand, but if you're not confident it will come out even, it's better to use some round object and just trace around it. Now we move on to hatching. First, I'll slightly darken the top part of the sphere. This is where the darkest area of the sphere will be. For now, we'll just mark it and continue hatching the surface of the sphere with a lighter tone. I'll try to hatch in the shape, although in our drawing it's not as important. In general, there are different ways to hatch a sphere. I choose this one because the direction of the hatches will match the shape of the reflections inside the sphere, and it's just easier to draw this way. I finish hatching. I've achieved a uniform tone. It can now be blended to make it more uniform. We'll erase everything outside the sphere. Now let's intensify the shadows at the top and outline the shadow in the lower right part of the sphere. Okay, now we start building up the surface of these shadows. For them to look realistic, the color transitions need to be as smooth as possible. For this, I gradually increase the color and finally blend these shadows. Now we can draw the highlights and reflections. For this purpose, I use a kneadable eraser, as it's more convenient in this case, allowing for any desired shape. First, I'll draw the highlights. Then, the brightest reflection at the bottom, and a weaker reflection inside the sphere. It's advisable to draw them in such a way as to not completely erase the pencil, leaving a bit of tone. Now, let's improve our reflection. For this, we'll need white paint. I have pastel, and with this pastel, I draw in the places where I used the eraser for reflections. It's very important that these areas are free of graphite. Otherwise, the color will be a bit dirty. You'll agree, white pastel on dark paper looks very effective. We'll add a bit more shadows, reflections, and the sphere is almost ready. We'll return to it, but now let's draw the shadow it casts on a horizontal surface. I use horizontal strokes for this. By the way, I'll immediately remove anything beyond the sphere to avoid smearing the dirt further. Notice that this shadow is not solid. There's light in its center, reflecting off the sphere. And as it gets further from the sphere, the shadow becomes lighter. I'm finishing with the first layers of hatching, and now we'll blend them. And apply a few more layers. Another important point is that the shadow doesn't have sharp edges. It's somewhat blurred. This is another aspect that adds realism to our work. I've almost finished with the shadow and just need to add a bit of white pastel in the center. We're almost done. We'll add a few more details, adjustments to give the drawing a finished look. I like the result. If you agree with me, hit like. Also, subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of useful information about drawing. All that's left is to say goodbye. I wish everyone success, good luck, and see you in new videos. Bye.